Richmond County parents concerned about a school bus stop near a sex offender's house. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Kimberly Scott in for Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. Students are just a few days into this brand new school year. Bus stops and bus routes are always a big issue this time of year. And in Richmond County, parents have reported children being picked up late and inaccurate bus route information. And now one mom says her youngins catch the bus where a sex offender lives. That bus stop located at the intersection of Parker Street and Dennis Road in West Augusta, less than 200 feet from the home of a registered sex offender. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubose is live at that bus stop that has a local mom concerned really for her kids' safety. Renetta.
Brad, this bus stop takes kids to and from 3 different Richmond County schools every day of the school week. And one mother tells me that she's putting her kids in her own vehicle and taking them to and from school after hearing about who lives nearby.
You're literally setting my kids in front of a sex offender's house.
A quick check online of where the school bus would pick up and drop off this mother's children changed everything.
I'm taking them to and from school until they can give me a reason why I should trust them. So I'm coming late to work.
Nicole Lewis moved to Augusta from California 3 years ago with 4 kids. 2 attend Warren Road Elementary School and 2 others are at Tutt Middle School. They get there after being picked up from the driveway of a man with a past.
They said it wasn't their responsibility to let anybody know.
A registered sex offender lives in this home, less than 200 feet from this bus stop on Dennis Road and Parker Street. Now, neighbors say that Dennis Road can be busy in the morning, and while the registered sex offender is within eyeshot of the students at the bus stop, he's not breaking any laws.
Unless the school district is going to designate bus stops, meaning these are set bus stops, no doubt about it, then you cannot force a person to move because they wouldn't know where the bus stops are going to be each year.
Senator Harold Jones tells us the sex offender has every right to live in the home he was already in before the district created the bus stop. He says a 2007 Georgia Supreme Court ruling reads that moving a sex offender from his or her home is unlawful unless they are compensated. Lewis says the district needs to notify parents that they do not check for sex offenders when setting the bus schedule.
Over a year, this has been going on, but how many others?
Now, we reached out to the Board of Education earlier today, and they tell us just a few minutes ago that they are still investigating the matter here at this bus stop. Live in Augusta, Renetta Dubose, WJBF News Channel 6.
The Richmond County Board of Education finally giving answers about several school bus complaints. Parents have reached out to us here at News Channel 6 about late bus pickups and drop-offs. One mom even saying her kids catch the bus near a sex offender's home. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubose digging deeper for answers. She spoke with the transportation director at the Board of Education today, and she is joining us live in our newsroom. Renetta?
Brad, we continue to hear from you about problems with Richmond County school buses. So today, we became the voice of every parent who told us about a problem their kid was having on a school bus.
He said he'll be right down.
Okay, can I talk with you about several issues that we've been receiving from parents about buses?
I'm going into a meeting.
It was a tough day getting your questions answered.
I know you have because you reported them.
Yeah, well, just statements, but no answers, just statements about the issues, but no resolutions to a lot of these parents' issues about
Mr. Wiley has been interviewed. We've been sending stuff out, so I'm in a meeting.
Will you have time afterwards to talk with us, to answer parents' questions? Can we schedule a meeting in the future with you, Mr. Jacobs? But News Channel 6 keeps getting complaints from parents about extremely late buses, kids walking more than a mile, and on dangerous highways.
I just want to say I apologize.
Helen Minshew tells me she sends complaints from parents straight to administrators, who she adds spent the first few days of school answering phone calls at the transportation office.
We had a communication problem as things were happening as far as getting back to the schools.
We want to not have our kids on the bus for a long period of time. That has been a concern.
But the transportation director says it is all a process to fix the concerns.
We are in the process of going through all of our parental concerns, addressing them as fast as we can.
In fact, we heard that word a lot.
We just didn't have a process.
It'll be one of those things where we review the process.
In the world of processing, what did you find out that didn't work?
Some of our routes were short. Some of the buses may have been a little full. Just random things.
So here is the process school officials want parents to use. Call the transportation office first. Leave a message there. Then call your child's school. The people we talked to would not give us a firm date as to when the issues would be fixed. And as for the bus stop near the sex offender's home, it has been moved permanently. Kim?
Dr. Pringle is answering your questions exclusively on News Channel 6. Renetta Dubose took the questions that you've been asking straight to her, and now she's getting some real answers about this rocky start to the school year.
As the superintendent starts her second year, this is her first time opening schools here in Richmond County, and she tells me in her experience, the first 2 weeks always come with complaints.
There were fewer buses with longer routes and more children on buses.
Rising as early as 5 in the morning and back home for dinner by 7. These hours are some of the reasons parents complained about Richmond County school buses.
Just didn't have a process.
It'll be one of those things where we review the process.
And after hearing somewhat of what the problem was, Angela Pringle is telling us how the solution is right at everyone's fingertips.
What we failed to do was to communicate the way that parents like communication today. They want communication right there on that phone. They want a tweet, they want a Facebook message.
Moving forward, Pringle's goal is to have kids on and off the bus in the time they would watch their favorite cartoon, or less than 30 minutes. She says the board approved an increase from 110 buses to 140 buses, expected to be on the road to school by next month.
Over a year, this has been going on.
And while this mom was successful in getting her kids' bus stop away from a sex offender's home, Pringle says the task to avoid the more than 400 criminal homes can be tough.
There is a software that will allow us to enter hotspots, and so those hotspots will be entered in the future.
This year, there's a new curriculum. That means harder, more challenging work, but she says there are qualified teachers in each classroom, and parents will be more involved in learning.
Little girls look older than they are.
Merging schools such as Murphy Middle and Josie High School raise concerns that younger and older kids would co-mingle. But Pringle tells us that learning and lunch will be separate but beneficial.
I can have a high school teacher walk around the corner and offer a high school math class to those middle school students.
What's your simple message to parents after the somewhat rocky start?
We apologize for the inconveniences, but we also need patience and understanding as we move forward to improve things for children.
To also help with buses, Pringle says a customer service center will be added to answer parents' questions within 30 minutes. Also, a new website and social media pages will launch by October 1st. We spoke with her about a lot of things. Go to our website, WJBF.com, for the full interview. Kim?
We begin with a question for you. How's your child's school bus experience so far this year? Well, when school started, the people in charge told us that they would work as hard as they could to make sure all those drop-offs and pickups were going smoothly. So here we are, 2 months into the school year. Time to see if they meant what they said. Renetta Dubose is here with the story.
Well, I spoke with the district spokesperson about prior complaints of school buses running a half an hour late and parents feeling like their voices were falling on deaf ears. Well, starting next week, parents, that should change.
As older buses need to be phased out, we've got newer buses to phase in.
The fleet of school buses in Richmond County dates back to when Bill Clinton was president of the United States.
Well, newer buses have better air conditioning, better technology, they're more reliable. They cut down on some service-related issues in regards to getting kids to school.
Caden Jacobs tells us 30 new buses have been purchased and are ready to hit the road in order to get students to and from school on time. The new wheels bring the total number to 210, with more promised for the beginning of the year.
We've gotten our processes down. I think parents are more used to the time schedule. I know that was one of the things we had talked about, communicating when the bus stop actually was picked up.
Parents normally don't, call in and complain that there's no air conditioning or no heat. Their main complaint is the timing of the buses.
Longtime parent Monique Braswell says while she's happy 15-year-old buses will be pulled off the street, the bus issues typically get better after the first month. What she is looking forward to is a new Facebook page and navigation-friendly website that can send alerts to parents' cell phones to warn them of any problems.
All of those avenues allow us better ways to communicate with parents. We're hitting parents where they are.
You'll find more of them on Facebook that don't have a house phone. So I think that's a really, really good way to go. Now, what I would like to make sure that we see happen is that the person that she has doing it is really doing it, and that the messages seem to be more personable.
So on Monday, parents can expect to see a new website style that's easier to navigate. Go ahead and like the Facebook page at that point and be on the lookout for an app for your mobile device later this year. And Jacob tells me that he invites comments and inbox messages from parents. Jenny?
Look at one mother's fear for her child's safety. There are no sidewalks for her child when she goes to and from her morning destination, and now the government may have to step in to fix that. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubose is here with the story.
Well, many people can probably relate to a lack of sidewalks in Richmond County. Well, when it comes to catching the bus for school, it becomes more than just frustration. It becomes a safety issue. This iPhone video shows the route a 4-year-old Head Start student was required to walk just to get to and from school. Lakeisha Wimberly tells us she thinks this trek is not safe.
Afraid that one of us might get hit because there's no sidewalk.
You're looking at Richmond Hill Road from a camera on the hood of our news vehicle. It's full of curves, has a small easement, and many times vehicles are forced to move into oncoming traffic just to avoid walkers who have no sidewalks to get to their destination. Wimberly wants the bus stop, which has since been moved to a longer distance up the curvy road, closer to her doorstep.
Once you get off the bus constantly pass straight by my house.
Because of the fearful walk, Wimberly takes her son to and from school, and his uncle helps. They complain to Head Start that older kids in Richmond County schools get picked up right from home.
Said they not associated with Board of Education, they do what they do. So that's when I called the city, and then the city said they can't do too much about it, and that's when I need to contact Channel 6.
We showed our video of the walk down Richmond Hill Road to the Head Start director.
My transportation person and the driver went out, looked at where she lives. Her street is very curvy. There is no good stop there, even in front of her house.
Smith also says only children with physical disabilities are picked up at home, and if one child who doesn't fit that description gets it, everyone has to, but the time will not allow.
The state of Georgia's licensing requires a 45 minutes time limit for each bus route.
One of Wimberly's neighbors is Commissioner Dennis Williams. He tells us Richmond Hill Road is dangerous without sidewalks, but the newest SPLOST package that will come before voters might help.
I'm not absolutely sure if it's one of the projects in the package, but I know we have a package for sidewalks throughout the county.
The Head Start director says almost all of the bus stops are along routes without sidewalks in Richmond County, but the state requires that she has kids on the bus no longer than 45 minutes, and that's why she can't pick up kids from directly in front of their home, even if the route is dangerous. Jenny?